what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Mid-Level Media. This is your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. And today, guys, we are here for some Severin Films recommendations for the summer sale. So as I'm filming this, we got 2 more days of the Severin sale. It actually ends Monday night at midnight. So I'm trying to rush this recommendation video out. Because like I would have made this a couple of days ago, but I went to my collection. I'm like, you know what? I have not seen enough of my Severin Films collection to do a recommendation video. So I kind of spent the entire weekend just binging some of my Severin titles. I watched 5 Severin. Well, part of last week I spent watching some too, but I just went through 5 of my Severin Films titles, watched some of the special features, and I'm like, you know what? I'm ready now to recommend some Severin Films 4Ks and Blu-rays here today. But before we get into it, guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you haven't already, we talk about physical media here on this channel, guys. Blu-rays, 4Ks, owning the movies that you love, all that stuff there behind me. If you like that kind of stuff, that kind of content, hit that subscribe button. Also, comment down below, guys. What do you think of my recommendations? But also, we still got a couple of days left. And Severin's like got some really good deals. Like their Blu-ray deals are really insane. Like $7.50 for some of their Blu-rays, $4 or $5 for some of their Blu-rays. Like I got one of those that I'm recommending here today. So if you got any recommendations, particularly from the $7.50 category, because I don't want to spend too much more, because I did order 4 Flies on Gray Velvet. I saw that came back into circulation, so I went ahead and grabbed that one. Dario Argento film, so I definitely wanted that in the collection. And then I got Baskin as well. So I already spent too much on Severin. I don't want to buy any more like super deluxe premium editions. So if you got any more like smaller recommendations from that portion of the sale, let me know in the comments section below. So, all right, guys, I've got 10 titles that I'm going to recommend. I'm going to try to make this as rapid fire as I possibly can, because I'm going to try to get this out the same day as I'm filming it. So there's going to be very little editing involved, but just know that all these I'm recommending, the Severin sale is live right now as I'm filming this. But Monday, July the 28th, I think. July the 28th at midnight, the sale will be done. So if you're watching this after, there is no sale, but these are still like good recommendations, you know, and maybe potentially you could get them in future sales, or maybe you could just go ahead and pick them up at full price. I do think that some of these are still worth, you know, full price, but obviously you want that sale. All right, let's get started, guys. I'm already rambling too much. Let's start with Dario Argento's Opera. So I got this last July, and this is another reason why this, you know, it was good for me to go back there and try to watch some of my Severin films, because I spent $60 on this last July, and I have not watched it yet. To be fair, I wanted to watch it when I got it. I was going to review it. I planned to review it, but there was a problem with the 4K disc. I can't remember. I think the color timing was off or something like that, so they had to redo the 4K. They did a disc replacement program. I didn't get the disc replacement until maybe like October. Like Severin, this is the thing about Severin, they're very slow sometimes in shipping some of your sales stuff. So I think I got this like a month and a half later, and then I had to wait for the replacement disc like another month and a half or 2 months or something like that. And by then, like I'd already moved on to other stuff, and this one just kind of went to the back burner. So, but I was happy now to finally get to watch it, because Opera is a movie I watched for the first time back in 2018. I did not love it. But this time, I don't know, this time it kind of clicked for me. And to be fair, I was just getting into Italian horror when I watched this for the first time. So like some movies were hitting, some weren't. I just wasn't acclimated to the style of Italian horror, which if you don't know, like Italian horror can just be all over the place sometimes. Sometimes it can make no sense at all. I do think Opera is kind of guilty of that, making no sense in certain parts. Like there's a scene like where her boyfriend literally gets killed in front of her. That's the entire plot of the movie. There's a serial killer that's going around killing these people in front of this new you know, opera singer. Like she's kind of the stand-in for an opera singer that goes out because she gets hit by a car in the very beginning of the movie. And she's being stalked by the serial killer, but he's not, you know, doing anything to her. He's just tying her up, putting these needles under her eyes so she has to watch like her friends being brutally massacred. So this happens to like her boyfriend the very beginning. And I'm trying not to spoil stuff, guys, but this is like a 50 or 40-year-old movie or something like that. But anyway, and then she just goes to the next scene. She acts like she's just fine. Like she's maybe phased a little bit, but then she's like flirting with this other guy. It's just a very weird like, transition. You just don't feel the wear and tear on her mentally watching like all of her friends being killed. But that's Italian horror. It's still a cool movie. It's got some the thing I like about this film is it's Dario Argento, I feel like at his peak as far as like, directing, just his style, just his expertise. At this point, I feel like was just here. Like I feel like the peak of his cinematic like capabilities was this movie right here. I'm not saying it's his best film. His best film to me is Deep Red, and then I would probably go Suspiria, Tenebrae. Those would probably be my top three. But like I think as far as directing and just how well he directs this film, I think he was at his peak, and I don't think he was ever better after Opera. So, and this movie's got a really cool like overhead like rotating crane shot that's kind of the simulate it's like from the the Raven's point of view, and it's really cool like what he does with that. But the kills are really awesome, the set pieces are really cool. I like the lead actress that's in this film. I think she does a really good job, and you got Dario Nicolodi in it, who has maybe the most insane death like in the entire film. I don't know. I dug this movie this time around. I did watch the director's cut. I don't know if I watched the theatrical cut the first time, but both cuts are included here in 4K. So I think that's important to know. But yeah, this is a really cool one. This is one that's kind of moved up on my Dario Argento list now. Again, some of the plot makes no sense, but I did appreciate it for its style this time. And I do think it may be Dario's most well-directed movie. This set is 5 discs. You do have the director's cut, the theatrical cut, both on 4K. They call it theatrical. Actually, they call it the US cut. So you have director's cut and US cut. Then you got the US cut and director's cut on a Blu-ray disc. Then you got the director's cut with a different aspect ratio, 185:1, so that's cool. That's on a Blu-ray. Then you got an entire disc of special features, and there's a bunch of special features on the regular Blu-ray disc right here, and then there's a bunch of additional special features right here. A lot of them are new, a lot of them are archival stuff, but there's tons of stuff to dig into with this release as far as Opera is concerned. And then you've got the soundtrack right there as well. So this is a 5-disc set, loads of special features. You got a nice booklet inside here as well. Like I said, just some really striking visuals in this film. And yeah, this is totally like this honestly is worth $50. Just everything they include here, 5 discs, but it's going for $37.49 right now currently on the Severin Films website. Now, you do have to pay $8 shipping, so if this is the only thing you get, it's pretty much going to be $50 because after shipping and then plus tax and stuff. But if you group it with a bunch of other stuff that you're getting or a few other titles, then it'll kind of even itself out a little bit. But Opera on 4K, totally worth it. Maybe the most worth it 4K in this Severin Films sale that's going on right now. I didn't even talk about the 4K quality here. 4K quality here is incredible. Maybe one of the best Severin Films 4Ks I've seen. I haven't seen many, but I think this one tops another one that I'm going to talk about in this video. But Opera like looked so immaculate on 4K. Oh my God, it was incredible. It may be the second best 4K of a Dario Argento film, the first one being Suspiria, but I think this one goes right behind it. Severin did an incredible job with the 4K. And I think the cinematographer from the Brandon Cronenberg films, Infinity Pool, and God, what was the other one? Possessor. He did the restoration work on it, so that was pretty cool. Or he advised on it, supervised it, whatever. But the next one I wanted to talk about was The Last Horror Film, and this is a movie starring Joe Spinell. This one was wild. It takes place at the Cannes Film Festival. It's about Joe Spinell, and he becomes obsessed with like wanting to direct a horror movie. He becomes obsessed with this particular actress that's at the Cannes Film Festival, and he goes over there to try to get her to star in his movie, but he's like a nobody. He hasn't directed anything. The best part of this movie is his mom. I love his mom, Vinny. She's so she's not even supposed to be like comic relief, but she kind of is. I was just cracking up at everything she was saying. But like she's kind of his worst critic, I guess, just kind of telling him like, you're never going to be a director. You're not a director. What do you do? And she's like trying to pull him back into reality. But he's like, no, I'm going to direct the film, even though he hasn't directed anything like ever. It's really just it's a stalker film. He's just stalking this actress at the Cannes Film Festival. But the cool thing is is they actually shot this at the Cannes Film Festival, some of this movie guerrilla style, because obviously I don't think they would have let them like shoot a movie there, or they couldn't get the authorization to do so. So the director actually like went in there and guerrilla style like filmed parts of the Cannes Film Festival while it was going on. I think in 1981, like the 1981 Cannes Film Festival, because this one came out in 1982. But yeah, this is a really, really cool movie. I wish I would have got this when it first came out because it had an awesome slipcase, Maniac 2, which Maniac is a great film too from Blue Underground, did the 4K on that and it looked great. But yeah, the last horror film, this is the new slip box. I will say that I looked on the Severin Films website. I apologize. I still wanted to talk about this, but it is sold out. The like big box set edition, or this edition right here, is sold out right now currently. You can probably still get this on Amazon though, just the regular 4K, maybe get the slip box on the Severin Films website and then just put it together if you want to do that. But you got a nice booklet inside here as well. And yeah, this one was super cool. I don't know, I really enjoyed it. You know, it has a really cool twist at the end that I did not see coming like at all, as well. And yeah, just some really gnarly kills, and just a cool setup. And I enjoyed this one. Joe Spinell was incredible, in this movie too. Like if you like Maniac, like you'll love this. It really is like a successor to Maniac, like a Maniac 2, honestly. But the last horror film was really awesome. Some great special features in this as well. The one thing I'll say, is I don't know if there's a Blu-ray version of this available, but maybe if there is, like, just get the Blu-ray because the 4K, like, I like the movie, but it's extremely low budget. I don't think that 4K really, and there's a couple of these where we'll talk about that. I don't think 4K like really enhanced this all that much, but that's just my opinion. The last horror film with Joe Spinell was an excellent film. I really enjoyed it. Next up, guys, I'm kind of conflicted with this one, but Nightmare. Nightmare is a film directed by Romano Scovolini. We'll say that. And this one, this is another one that like I don't think that 4K is really necessary for this type of movie. Now there are some up close shots that do look really good, some sweat coming down the character's face that look really good. But overall, I just don't think this one was totally necessary for 4K because it's just a very grainy, low budget film. There's shots that really just like kind of distorted and just out of focus. And I don't know, the 4K, like parts of it looked good, like certain shots here and there. Overall, though, you'd probably be good just watching this movie on Blu-ray. But the movie itself, I don't know. Like the one interesting thing about this film is I'm watching it and I saw on the back that there was a special feature with Tom Savini. And I'm like, oh, well, Tom Savini did the special effects here. And then you're watching and you're like, oh, this really does look like a Tom Savini effect. Like especially like the big set piece effect that they just keep replaying like all throughout the movie, the beheading at the beginning of the film. It screams Tom Savini. So like I'm watching the movie, I'm like, oh, Tom Savini like doing the effects here, like that's awesome. And this movie came out in 1981, so it would have been the year after, you know, Friday the 13th. It would have been the same year as The Burning and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, damn, Tom Savini just killed this. Like that's why this movie's kind of worth watching is the kills, like because there's some very like intense, grisly, gnarly movies. Like this movie was like outlawed for a long time. Like it's that intense and violent. But I watched the Tom Savini feature and he talks about basically how he was just kind of brought in to consult on the effects. He didn't do the effects, but because he was on the set, I guess the producers or the people that advertised this movie, they put his name front and center because he was a big name at the time. He'd done Dawn of the Dead as well. They put his name front and center on the poster and it's like special effects by Tom Savini. And it pissed him off because he's like, I didn't do the effects. I don't want my name on it. So he was trying to get his name off of this because he didn't do the effects. Yeah, this is a cool one. I don't know. I found myself getting a little bored throughout. It's about an escaped mental patient that goes to Florida to terrorize this family. But there's also this like experimental drug program thing that's going on that he's also on. And then I don't know, the way that they present it is kind of strange because they kind of put him in the program or they talk about how he's in the program and then it cuts to him like having to escape, but they don't really like show you how that happens or anything. So it just feels like pieces of the movie are missing. But it's a very like it's definitely an exploitation film. It definitely leans into that like grindhouse, like video nasties era, like style. But I enjoyed it overall. I thought it was good, mostly just because of how grisly and violent some of these kill sequences were. It really goes for it. But one thing I wanted to say about this is I think the super special edition is 35 bucks with the slipcase and an additional disc. There's actually a bonus disc that's included with the edition that has a slipcase, but if you get it without that, then you're only getting the movie on 4K, then you're also getting the movie on Blu-ray as well with all the special features for the movie. But the extra disc that is in here is basically the producer of this film, which I think like the producer, he went to court or something, or maybe he went to prison or jail or something for letting this movie come out. But this was Nightmare was the movie that I think brought him down as a producer. But there's a disc on here called Damage, the Very British Obscenity of David Hamilton Grant. And it also has 4 rare David Hamilton Grant productions in it. So this is a guy that kind of started his career doing porn and doing like how-to videos or something on porn. Like it was very strange. I watched a little bit of the documentary, but I didn't have time to dive into it. But that disc has basically 5 movies. It's got 5 movies. It's a bonus disc that has 5 movies. Now, the 4 movies of his are not very good as far as the quality. It's almost like shot on video type quality. But yeah, I don't know enough about it to really speak on it, but just know that if you get the regular 4K for like $22.50 with just the case, you're just getting the 4K and the Blu-ray. But if you get this special edition with the slipcase, you're going to get that extra disc of the David, Hamilton Grant filmography. So I guess that's cool. But yeah, a very loaded edition right here. I mean, for 35 bucks, you basically get 6 movies and all kinds of special features. Like there was a really good amount of special features. And like I said, that Tom Savini feature was really cool with this release. But yeah, that's Nightmare, guys, on 4K from Severin Films. I do recommend it overall. Next up, we've got Grizzly. So this one's been in the collection for a long time. I think this is one of the first Severin films in my collection, and I finally got around to watching it. This one was pretty good. It came out in 1976, the year after Jaws, so you can kind of tell what they were trying to capitalize on. But this one, it was fun. It was a fun grizzly bear attack movie. There's really gnarly like death sequences in this as well, like some really crazy stuff. Now they don't really show the bear a ton in the movie, which makes sense if they're trying to be like Jaws, don't show the bear. And when they do show the bear, you can just tell it's like footage of a bear that they shot out in the actual like wilderness. But there's a really cool sequence where a bear like attacks a tower and the tower comes down and stuff. That's pretty cool. But yeah, Grizzly, it was fun. I wouldn't say it was a great film, especially when you're comparing it to Jaws, but I enjoyed it for what it was. Grizzly on Blu-ray. I don't think this one does not have a 4K. But it is available on the Severin sale. Like I said, I'm going to leave the prices down below in the corner. Also, I just watched this before I came in here to film, Spider Labyrinth. This was a pretty gnarly one. I'm not going to lie. It honestly, it doesn't really do anything. Like it's a pretty, kind of low key. I don't want to say boring because there are some interesting things going on here and there, but I don't feel like it really gets to the meat of what's going on until the last 30 minutes of the film. Like you kind of just spend a lot of time with the lead character, just kind of, going around from location to location, trying to investigate what's happening, talking to scholars and stuff, local scholars and stuff like that. But the last 30 minutes really ramp up. And there's some moments like throughout the film, but the last 30 minutes really ramp up. There's some really like awesome, like cool special effects things that happen. But, basically it's about a professor that is sent from, America to, God, where does he go? Budapest. He goes to Budapest to investigate why this guy that got sent over there to do research has not turned in his research yet. So he goes over there. That guy dies like very early on in the film. So it's a whole like investigation, like what happened to him. There's spiders involved. There's mysterious, cults involved as well that kind of revolve around the spiders. It's a cool movie. I will say the 4K looked incredible, looked absolutely incredible. So if you've seen Spider Labyrinth and you want to see it in the best possible picture quality, because there's some cinematography and some stuff that they do with the lighting that is very reminiscent of Suspiria. And this is also an Italian horror film. I think that's worth noting as well. You can watch it in Italian. You can watch it in English, though. Very reminiscent of Suspiria. You can kind of see that on the back right there with some of the images. But you don't really get a ton of that stuff until the very end. And yeah, there's some really great makeup effects in this film as well, special effects. A really good score, too. I think you have the soundtrack that's included in this release. You do get a 4K, a Blu-ray, and then you also get the soundtrack. So yeah, this one I have a harder time recommending just because it's a little slow for a while. And then like everything pretty much happens in the last 30 minutes. But I think the last 30 minutes kind of makes up for the rest of the film. And if I went back and rewatched it, maybe I would be into it, just a little bit more. But yeah, Spider Labyrinth, it's cool. Definitely worth it for like the special effects and stuff like that. In the 4K though, looked absolutely amazing. There's some great special features. I think there's like 4 new interviews. There's a new visual essay as well. So some really good stuff in the Spider Labyrinth 4K release. All right, so all of these I have seen, but it's been a little bit since I've seen all these. These were not recent watches. We have Burial Ground, which is a really cool zombie movie that it's very like goofy and over the top and almost comedically bad in certain parts. There's a little boy in this film that is clearly being played by an adult, which is kind of interesting. There's a shot at the end of the film with that little boy latching onto a boob, and that's all I'll say. It's a really gnarly scene though, for sure. So yeah, Burial Grounds. It is one that I'm not going to say it's the best zombie movie ever made. Don't go into this expecting that it's Lucio Fulci's Zombie, because it's not. It is an Italian zombie movie, by the way. But it is a good one. It's got some great special effects, and it looks fantastic in 4K as well. And this has some really good special features attached to it. Like you can see it on the back, guys. Some fantastic special effects, creature effects, zombie effects in this. But the movie itself is very over the top and kind of goofy and almost satirical, it feels like in certain moments, even though I don't even think that was the intention. But the 4K looks great. It's a fun movie. We also got Butcher, Baker, Nightmare Maker. This is another one that like I think you would be fine getting the Blu-ray for if there's just a Blu-ray available. This one I don't remember looking too great on 4K, but it's a cool movie about basically a mother that goes psychotic, on her kid. I think she loses her husband early on, and then she just becomes obsessed with her son and won't let him do anything. She doesn't like it that he's hanging out with a new girl. And yeah, it's very much like a mother being possessive of her kids and just her psychotic breakdown. But it's an interesting film. I can't say that I loved it, but I did like it enough to recommend it in this video. The one thing about this one is it was a little misleading because they said there was 6 hours of new special features, and there are special features here. There's some great special features, but the 6 hours they were talking about were 3 new audio commentaries, which I don't count as hours worth of special features because that's just commentary over the actual film. So that's one thing to note, but it's a solid release, and I think it's just going for like $25 right now in the Severin sale, and I think it's worth that, at least for sure. And it's a cool movie. Next up, all-time classic with Kurt Russell, Goldie Hawn. Had to throw this one in there. It's going for $5 in the Severin sale. I think you still get the slipcase with it. This is my very first Severin title that I ever added into the collection too, and it's because I just love this movie, and I've always loved this movie, Overboard. Goldie Hawn, Kurt Russell. I think this is the movie that they kind of met on and became husband and wife after. I could be wrong, but it's the same director as Pretty Woman. It's Gary Marshall. It's the 80s. It's incredibly fun. They did a remake a few years ago. I never saw the remake. It's a very fun movie, though. Kurt Russell's always great. Goldie Hawn's great as well. And I do recommend it if you haven't seen Overboard. And again, $5 to get that in the Severin Films sale. These last two are both directed by the same director, so I'll just bring them up at once. Mikel Suave, I think is how you pronounce his name. But you got Della Morte, Delamore right here on 4K. And then you got The Church on 4K. I like The Church. But honestly, like it wasn't my favorite. These are both Italian horror films. It wasn't my favorite Italian horror film for sure. You basically had this group of, I think, archaeologists that get stuck in this church overnight, and they're battling these demons and ghosts and stuff like that. Creatures from hell. It kind of gets into that labyrinth kind of scenario. And it had some cool moments, so I did enjoy it, but I didn't love the film. But this is a 3-disc set right here. It's got so many special features. Like they did this one, I think, in 2023. It's got loads of special features, guys. Just loads of special features. So it may be worth it just for the features to get this one. And yeah, this is one I'll rewatch this at some point. It was produced by Dario Argento, who I think Mikel Soavi worked with him on some of his movies and then kind of broke out and did his own films. There's another film that I have from him in the collection, The Sect. I have not watched that yet. I need to. But yeah, this one's got plenty of gore. It's got demon sex and it's got a rad score. That's what the tagline says on the back. So if you're in for any of that stuff, check out The Church on 4K. This next one, guys, this might be maybe the top recommendation for Severin Films. This movie, it's an Italian horror film. It's got Rupert Grant in it, who went on to act in some legitimate like Hollywood, or Rupert Everett, sorry guys, went on to act in some legitimate like Hollywood productions later on in his career, but he did this movie back in 1994. This was one that was stuck on DVD, I think, for a long time, and people were waiting for this to get at least a Blu-ray upgrade, but Severin gave this one the full treatment, 4K restoration. This is one of the best 4Ks I've ever seen. The Della Morte Dell'Amore, which is Cemetery Man, known as in the US, looks incredible in 4K. Oh my God, this 4K was so outstanding. But the movie itself is like super fun. It's got a very sleazy, element to it as well. But I'll show you the other cover right there. This one has Cemetery Man on it. The lead actress in this film, that's all I'll say. In 4K, my goodness. My goodness. But yeah, Rupert Everett is really good in this movie. It kind of feels like he's given to me when I watch this, it felt very Evil Dead 2, like early Sam Raimi era. Like that's what this movie kind of felt like to me. But it has those Italian sensibilities as well. But Rupert Everett kind of felt like a Bruce Campbell type in this role, and it kind of takes place in a cemetery. He's the cemetery groundskeeper. He meets this girl, and there's just weird, ghostly, demonic things that happen at night. And it's got some great special effects, and it's got some great moments in it involving Rupert Everett just like fighting the demonic forces. And yeah, just some real Evil Dead vibes with this one for sure. But this is a 4-disc set as well. Like Severin's just good at doing these multi-disc set. This one's got tons of features. It does have the score on the 4th disc. But yeah, I remember this being so freaking loaded with special features. I do think that Rupert Everett came back to talk about it. I think maybe he didn't. I thought he did. Oh yeah, he did come back. The director talked about this movie. Rupert Everett talked about this movie. Anna Fauci, the lead actress, who in 4K guys, oh my goodness, she came back to talk about this movie. Got an archival making of A Matter of Life and Death. Graveyard shit. You got so much here, guys. This thing's got like 10 or 11 special features plus the soundtrack. And I think this one's going, I don't know if the slipcase is still available for this one, but I think this is still going for like, I don't know, $30, or maybe it's down to 25 now. Again, I'm going to put the price over there, but this one may be the best, at least of what I've seen, maybe the best movie and also best 4K that Severin Films has ever done. It's an incredible film, Italian horror film. The 4K looks great. The extras are outstanding. So yeah, this one's definitely a top recommendation. Well, I think The Last Horror Film may be my favorite film that they've done, but Cemetery Man is super cool as well. So there you have it, guys. There's some recommendations. This went longer than I wanted it to, but hopefully I gave you some good last minute recommendations for the Severin Summer Sale. I will link the sale down below in the description, guys. I maybe try to link all the individual releases and the prices down below as well. But thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel, turn on bell notifications for all future videos, and follow me on all my social media accounts. Those links are down below in the description, and we'll see you next time.